Oma woke up one morning and opened her mouth to talk, but no sound came out. Nothing, not even a whisper. Just the day before, everyone in Igbodu village knew Oma as the girl who never stopped talking. From sunrise to sunset, her voice rang through the dusty streets like a loud radio that nobody could switch off. She was the village news station, the walking newspaper, the human megaphone. Oma knew everything about everybody. She knew that Mama Saro was secretly sleeping with her husband's brother. She knew that Teacher John wore the same shirts 3 days in a row. She knew that the pastor's wife had been seen talking to the palm wine seller behind the church. Some of these things were true, some were not. Oma did not care much about the difference. When Mama Adun's goat went missing, Oma told everyone it was stolen by armed robbers from the city. The whole village panicked and formed a night guard. The goat was found the next day sleeping in Oma's own house. When asked why she said such things, Oma just shrugged and moved on to the next story. Her mother always warned her, "Stop spreading stories that are not true." But Oma could not help herself. Words poured out of her mouth like water from a broken tap. She talked while eating, while walking, while supposed to be sleeping. Even during church service, she whispered gossip to whoever sat next to her. The village elders often shook their heads when they saw her coming. "Here comes trouble," they would say. But people still gathered around her because her stories were entertaining, even when they were complete nonsense. Last week, Oma told everyone that the government was coming to build a big hospital in their village. People got excited and started planning. When nothing happened, they realized it was just another one of Oma's tales. Some people got angry, others just laughed it off. That was typical Oma behavior. But now, as she sat on her bed touching her throat, panic filled her chest. She tried to cough, nothing. She tried to whisper, nothing. She ran to her mother, who was cooking breakfast outside. Her mother looked up and saw Oma pointing frantically at her mouth, eyes wide with fear. When her mother realized what was happening, she almost dropped the pot of yam she was stirring. The news of Oma, the talkative condition, had spread through Igbodu village and beyond. When people saw her walking silently through the market, their reactions were as mixed as palm oil and water. Old Papa Danladi chuckled and shook his head. "Finally, the gods have done what we could not do. Maybe now we can have some peace." His wife elbowed him but could not hide her own small smile. They remembered how Oma had once told everyone that their daughter was too proud to get married, causing the girl to cry for weeks. But Mama Fola felt different. She watched Oma trying to buy tomatoes by pointing and making hand gestures, and her heart softened. The poor child looked so lost. Yes, she talked too much, but losing your voice completely is too much punishment for anyone. She remembered her own youth when she also loved to share stories, though never as wildly as Oma. The young people in the village were divided. Some laughed behind Oma's back, making jokes about how quiet she looked now. Others felt uncomfortable, wondering if their own loose tongues might bring similar trouble. Oma's mother could not sleep or eat properly. She watched her daughter struggle to communicate basic needs and felt her own heart breaking. Every traditional healer in 3 villages had examined Oma. They gave her bitter herbs to drink, hot steam to inhale, and oils to rub on her throat. Nothing worked. After 2 weeks of failed remedies, desperation drove them to Papa Okwu, the old priest who lived in the next town. People said he could see things that others could not. The journey took them 4 hours on foot under the hot Sunday. Papa Okwu was a small man with grey hair and eyes that seemed to look right through people. He examined Oma without touching her, just staring into her face for a long time. Then he closed his eyes and remained silent for what felt like forever. When he finally spoke, his words hit like thunder. "This silence is not from sickness, it is justice. Your daughter's words killed someone, and now the spirit of that person has taken away what was most precious to her." Oma's mother felt her legs go weak. She knew immediately who the priest meant. 3 months ago, a young girl named Neddy had hanged herself from a mango tree behind her family's compound. The whole village had been shocked. Neddy was quiet and gentle, the kind of girl who never caused trouble for anyone. But Oma had started a terrible rumor about her. She told people that Neddy was sleeping with different men for money, that she had seen her sneaking out at night to meet them. The story spread like fire in dry grass. Soon, everyone was whispering about sweet Neddy, looking at her with suspicious eyes and judging faces. The shame had been too much for the girl to bear. Her family found her 3 days after Omar's stories began circulating. There was no proof of any of the things Omar had said. It was all lies, created from thin air just to have something interesting to talk about. Omar's mother remembered how casually her daughter had mentioned Neddy's death. She just shrugged and said the girl was probably guilty and could not live with her sins. Even then, Omar had not connected her rumors to the tragedy. Now the truth was clear, and it was devastating. Papa Oku explained that Neddy's spirit would not rest until justice was served. In a way, Omar's voice was not revenge, but balance. Words that destroy must be silenced. They tried everything the priest suggested. Omar's family visited Neddy's parents, bringing gifts and begging forgiveness. The dead girl's mother wept and said she forgave them, but her father remained silent and angry. How can forgiveness bring back my daughter? He wondered. They performed rituals and made sacrifices. They prayed at the church and consulted native doctors. Omar's mother spent all her savings on ceremonies and offerings. But weeks turned into months, and Omar's voice never returned. Gradually, the village adapted to the new reality. Omar learned to write messages on pieces of paper and communicate through gestures. She found work helping at the market, counting items, and organizing goods since she could no longer distract customers with chatter. The village was quieter now, but perhaps a little wiser too. People thought twice before spreading unconfirmed stories, remembering what had happened to both Neddy and Omar. Some lessons they realized came with a price too high to pay.